Good afternoon to you and welcome to Business. Now, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana has reduced the policy rate by a significant margin. The Bank of Ghana dropped its key lending rate to commercial banks by 200 basis points to 18%. The cut is the biggest drop in the policy rate since November 2014. Addressing journalists at the MPC conference a while ago, the governor, Dr. Ernest Addison, said the move was influenced by a positive economic outlook. We'll bring you the details of that shortly in Business on the Marketplace. Now, moving on, the implementation of the renewable energy segment prescribed by the Renewable Energy Act is one key reason contributing to the decline in investments in the renewable energy sector. That's according to Executive Director of KITE, Ishmael Ejokumihene. He says if the fund were to be operationalized, it will reduce pressure on energy consumption through the national grid.
Well, to the best of my knowledge, the fund hasn't been operationalized. So I'm not sure there's any fund sitting anywhere, which is the Renewable Energy Fund. But it's such an important component of the Act, and it's no wonder that we haven't been able to see much happening in the renewable energy sector. It's meant to be a fund that would support investments in renewables. Okay, so if people are able to access those funds, if they were to be in place, and they were to install some of the PV systems, ultimately the energy consumption from the grid is going to drop as they pay back their investments in the renewables. And then once your consumption is dropping and you are maybe self-generating, then you pay less, not because your renewable is free, but once you make the initial investment, you only be recovering the cost of the benefit from the investment. So there isn't a direct correlation between the fund and the price of the electricity. But what it does is that with the net metering system that they've introduced, for example, a private developer can put solar panels on their rooftops, and then you have a meter that records what you generate and what you consume from the grid. At the end of the month, they set it off so that if you consume 100 from ECG and you were able to generate 50 into the system, you pay the difference. Okay, so that's what we call the net metering. So a lot of interests have been expressed, but most people don't have, they don't have the money. A lot of these private developers or in households who are doing this would either have to find their own money. But if you were to go to the bank, the rates, you don't want to even think about that. But if there's such a fund existed, then people could have borrowed and go into some of these things. And indeed, there are regulations in place which also, once fully implemented, is going to help scale up the renewables. And if the more you have your own panels on your rooftop, the less you're going to depend on the grid, and it means that
That's all the business for now. I'm coming away shortly with the Marketplace. My name is Emmanuel Abwachi Riafi. Next is sports.